I'm Chuck Saunders with Saunders Archery, and today I'd like to introduce you to the Pack Tab. We've had some customers who've asked us, essentially, with so many different options that the tab gives you, what's the best option? Well, the answer is that there is no particular answer for an individual. You can put it together in any number of ways. Here's an example of our new translucent yellow. The tab comes with a felt liner, the basic tab itself, a felt liner, a slick outer inside liner, and a rubber liner. The rubber liner is generally used as a substitute for the felt when you're doing something like bow fishing, or if you're shooting a heavy poundage bow and you need as much padding as you possibly can. Generally what you'll find is that you'll use the felt and the inner liner. The way you set up the tab will depend on whether it's a left or a right hand. This would be used as a left hand, and to make it as a right hand, you just reverse that around and put your tab material on the other side of it. There's nothing really, if you want to use the finger spacer, it's just a friction connection. This pin goes in the front side, through the two liners. And sometimes I like to start with this because it helps align the rest of the pads so that the mounting screws go in pretty easy after that point. So there's the two friction screws that you put through the tab backings, whichever you choose. Again, I've chosen the felt and the slick inner liner. And then there's the actual finger unit itself, which just simply slides onto this and works as a spacer between the index finger and the other two fingers in the tab. At that point, the tab is really starting to come together. There's a complete set of screws with two different lengths to the screws. I'm gonna have to put on my glasses to be able to see these. The length that is longer is the one that will be used for the three liner setup. The longer screw would go in from the outside because it's low profile. And then the actual boss nut comes in from the inside. And you'll see, if you look at that, boss receiver nut does not protrude through the other side. At this point, by the time you get your two bosses in and the two screws in, you're pretty much ready to shoot. I like to have them tighten up a little bit. If you don't have some, I'm using I think it's a 7mm wrench to hold the back screw because it has two flats on it and it's low profile, so it doesn't distract from your hold on your hand. It doesn't rub against anything. The downside of that is that if you just use finger tightening, it can loosen up. On the other hand, if you wanted to, you could always use a small dab of blue Loctite, which is removable. At this point, the tab is ready to go. To change it, if you change for changing from right to left hand, it's simply just reversing the process, popping it over onto the other side. As you may or may not know, the material is extremely slick, both on the inside and the outside, so that the string rests and settles naturally in the hand, and that you get a very smooth release, even if you're not using any release aids such as a powder or Vulu to help lubricate the tab itself. It's an option, you can always do that, but essentially it's so slick that you'll never need to do that unless you really are getting into that point where it might be necessary, or if there's some type of interaction with the serving of the string. And that's the Pack Tab. We welcome your comments and we look forward to any input that you may have in relationship to any of our products. From all of us at Saunders Archery, shoot safe, honorably, and well.